These are a few ways that people completely screw themselves financially in their 20s. I unfortunately made a lot of these mistakes, and I want to make sure that others don't do the same. If you're in your 20s, these 4 things can make a massive difference in how your 20s play out. The first one is buying a car, and specifically the wrong kind of car. If you're in your 20s, even if you have a good job, it's probably not a good idea to buy a new or almost new car, and it's probably an even worse idea to get a lease. The reason is because these are pretty long-term commitments, and when you're in your 20s, things change a lot and things change very quickly. If you absolutely need a car, then I would recommend maybe go look for something Asian made that's been taken care of that you can pay for in all cash, maybe like $3,000 or under. Specifically look for a car that was owned by somebody previously that knew a thing or two about cars and made sure to do regular maintenance on the vehicle. When I was 20, I was working construction like 50 hours a week or more, and so I was making awesome money. I thought, you know what? I'll just go to the dealership and get myself a sick car. It was so cool at first, as it usually is, but then it got really, really bad. As a young dude with an almost brand new car and a massive car loan, my insurance was ridiculous. I was paying like $450 a month just for insurance. And my car payments on the loan were $518 a month. So without even gas or maintenance or anything else, I was paying nearly $1,000 a month just to own this vehicle. So I put like a $5,000 down payment on this car, and then I was spending $1,000 a month for a couple of years when I could have just taken that initial $5,000 and just bought a used car outright. Who even let me make that decision? Anyways, fast forward about a year, and this is why I tell people that in your 20s, things change a lot and things change very, very quickly. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be self-employed and make my own money, and so I quit my job. This obviously meant that I had no income coming in, and so I burned straight through my emergency fund. I did it pretty quickly, and so I had no money left to make payments on anything anymore. And so the insurance company canceled my insurance on me, and the bank came and repossessed my car. These 2 things completely fucked my credit score, and I couldn't get another car for a couple of years. So then years later, when I did decide to buy another car, my dad had to co-sign on the loan, and once again, my insurance was completely ridiculous because I had a cancellation on my record. All of this could have been avoided if I just took some cash and went out and bought like a used Honda Civic or a used Toyota Camry or something that would have lasted me forever. But instead, I went to the dealership twice and made the same mistake over and over again, and I just completely screwed myself financially for like a decade. The second mistake that a lot of people make is buying pets. People buy a cat or a dog or whatever people want, and they don't realize that having a pet comes with a lot of expenses. It's hard enough having to live and support yourself as a young 20-something-year-old without having to worry about keeping an animal healthy and fed. Just getting one dog and everything that you're going to need for that dog can cost you at minimum like $1,000 a year. And like I said, your life is going to change a lot when you're this young, but animals live for a long time. You're going to be responsible for that animal and the money that it costs to take care of them for a decade or more. Not a lot of people in their 20s nowadays really understand the amount of commitment that it takes to do something for an entire decade, let alone care for another living being. Just save the animals for when you have things a little more figured out and maybe you have started to settle down. The third mistake is one that you'll actually hear me talk about a lot, and it's not tracking your spending. I'm not talking about making a budget. This isn't a budget. Budget is where you say, okay, I have $400 a month to spend on groceries. But if you're not tracking how much you spend on groceries, then it's pretty easy to go over that $400 that you allowed yourself to spend on groceries. Tracking your spending means writing down where every single dollar goes every single month. The truth is, most people have no idea where all of their money goes. They get paid, bills come out automatically, and then they go for lunch or dinner, and then they wonder where all of their money went. This is way more common than I really wish it was. Just track your spending so you can see where you might be able to cut back. If you smoke weed, do you know how much you're spending every month to buy that weed? I never knew how much I was spending on that, and then I started tracking my spending and found out that I was spending on average $800 a month just to buy weed. What the fuck? Really though, do you know how much you're spending on monthly subscriptions? Most people don't, and that's why a lot of businesses are switching to that monthly subscription model. People just forget that they sign up for things. The money comes out automatically, they don't notice, but the companies love it. Please pay attention to where your money is going. All of it. The last money mistake to avoid making in your 20s is investing. Now I'm talking about not investing, or investing in all of the wrong places. Let me explain. You want to avoid not investing because you need to learn how to put money away as soon as possible. If you wait until you're making a bunch of money to then learn how to invest, you're probably going to fail miserably. Look, take it from me, I don't want to get into the details. Maybe I'll make a video about that in the future, but it's very, 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 very important that you learn as soon as possible how to start putting money aside, money that you can't touch. Now, the second part of this is investing in all the wrong places, and to better understand what I mean by that, you should watch this video. It'll explain everything.